Hey guys, Balas Ramos, and horrible day to be a Dolphins fan. I mean, losing 40-17 to the New York Jets is not how myself and I bet plenty other Miami Dolphin fans thought this game would turn out for them. Uh, yeah, with that being said, Dolphins dropped to 3-2. New York Jets go up to 3-2. As of right now, the AFC East standings. Uh, Buffalo's 4-1. New York and Miami are 3-2. Then New England is 2-3. So everyone got to win this week except for Miami Dolphins. It's very unfortunate. I mean, let's just get right into it. The start off the game. Teddy Bridgewater goes down and on the first drive for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And just doesn't look good. You know, he hits his head on the ground, goes into concussion protocol. He passes it. He doesn't have a concussion. But with the new rules implemented, Teddy is not playing for the rest of the game. He's ruled out. So I get it. Protect the players at all costs. But if he passed it, why are we not letting him back in the game? Then to top it off, a drive or two later, Zach Wilson finds Brees Hall wide open on the sideline, has a 79-yard catch, and then follows it up with a Michael Carter touchdown. It's just things weren't looking good for the Dolphins. And on top of that, Skylar Thompson dealing with a lot of pressure in the backfield. Ball gets hit and it gets intercepted by Sauce Gardner. I mean, just not looking good. Jets end up scoring off of that one with a Zach Wilson touchdown. This game was very lopsided, very in the Jets' favor, and the Dolphins could not do much to salvage it. As much as they tried, just couldn't happen. Either way, if you haven't seen it yet, lots of Jets video that I'm showing. Not so much Dolphins because honestly, the Dolphins played really bad. Defense was all right, kept us within the game, but Skylar Thompson wasn't prepared to come into the game. And that I wouldn't put it entirely on his shoulders that the Dolphins lost this game. I would more so put it towards the coaches. Shaky situation right now at quarterback. I feel like they should have given Skylar Thompson a little bit more reps with the ones and, facing more live action than he probably did in practice because the whole time they were just like, all right, Teddy's the guy, Teddy's the guy, Teddy's the guy. And I get that. And I get you want to build as much chemistry as possible with Teddy being the lead guy. But you also have to take consideration that he could possibly go down, which is exactly what happened. So I feel like that was a little bit of a fault in the Dolphins' preparation for this game. But you obviously cannot prepare for a player going down. That is the uncertainty that lies within any type of sporting event. Anyone can go down at any moment, and it could be your most crucial player. It can be the player that could be the most beneficial to being on the field for you. So it's the way the cookie crumbles. It's very unfortunate. With that being said, let's go over some of the game trends and stuff like that. Total yards, Miami 295, New York Jets 322. Dolphins had 2 turnovers. Time of possession was pretty even. 29 minutes, 2 seconds for the Dolphins, 30 minutes, 58 seconds for the Jets. First downs, 19 for the Dolphins, 21 for the Jets. Sold out stadium at MetLife. And then the scoring summary was a safety. That Teddy injury was a safety. Disagree with it, first of all. He threw it in towards Durham Smythe's direction. Anywho, they gave him a safety. Followed up with field goal, second quarter, touchdown Jets. Touchdown Dolphins, touchdown Jets, touchdown Dolphins right before the halftime, which was a Durham Smythe touchdown run. Third quarter, Jason Sanders field goal. Fourth quarter, 3 TDs from the Jets. 2 of them were in the span of less than 15 seconds. So, very, very, very unfortunate game for the Dolphins. Congrats to the Jets. Finally got their first divisional win since 2019. Sucks it had to be against the Dolphins. I was more than likely thinking it would have came against the New England Patriots, but they're looking pretty good as well. Anyways, let's get into player stats. So yeah, Teddy went 0 for 1. safety, and literally got knocked out of the game. Skylar Thompson went 19 of 33, 166 yards, no touchdowns, one interception, sacked twice for a loss of 8 yards. Zach Wilson, 14 of 21, 210 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, sacked twice for a loss of 23. Pretty good game from Zach Wilson, aside from just not really being the main catalyst to this win, which I'll go over who it was soon. Dolphins rushing, Raheem Mostert cracked 100 yards, which I was very pleased to see, but not in the way that was very beneficial to the Dolphins. He had 18 carries, 113 yards, one touchdown, longest was 24. That was something that Dolphins started getting away from when this game started getting out of hand, is keep putting the ball in Skylar Thompson's hands. And I think they should have leaned a little bit more on the running game. I get it, you got to make some of these crucial plays, but things that this team needs to work out. Completely different team when you have Teddy out there. I mean, when you have two out there, obviously whole completely different situation. You have two Teddy out there, and then whole completely just night and day from Tua to Teddy to Skylar Thompson. I get it. I'm very high on Skylar Thompson. I think he can do well in the league, but he's just not ready yet. And it is what it is. He's a rookie. Give him some time. I feel like if he had more preparation, he would have been all right. Ball security is one of the biggest things. Anyways, Tyreek Hill, 2 carries, 13 yards. Myles Gaskin, 4 carries, 9 yards. Durham Smythe, 1 carry, 1 yard touchdown. And Chase Edmonds, 1 carry, 1 yard. For the New York Jets, their running backs were the reason they won the game offensively. I said it's okay if Breece Hall and Michael Carter beat you. It's not okay, because they ended up adding on 40 points. So Breece Hall had 18 carries, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, the longest was 17. Michael Carter had 10 carries, 21 yards, 2 touchdowns, longest of 8. Braxton Berrios, 1 carry, 15 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Wilson, 4 carries, 2 yards, 1 touchdown. Just not good. All their touchdowns on the ground. All the Dolphins' touchdowns also on the ground. So no passing touchdowns in this game. But definitely the Jets capitalize on our secondary being hurt, and then pushing that towards, there's a threat of the passing game now. Now our run defense gets a little bit softer, which is exactly the case. Passing-wise for the Dolphins, 7 total receptions for Tyreek Hill, 47 yards. Longest was 13. Mike Gesicki had a catch for 30 yards. Myles Gaskin had 3 receptions, 24 yards. Longest was 16. Jalen Waddle, 3 receptions, 23 yards, long of 11. Cedric Wilson had 2 receptions for 20 yards. Probably his first reception of the year, honestly. Receptions of the year. Raheem Mostert, 1 reception, 9 yards. There was Smythe, 1 reception, 8 yards. Trent Sherfield, 1 reception, 5 yards. And then Craig Kraft was targeted on that interception with Sauce Gardner, which we'll go over in a bit. New York Jets receiving, Breece Hall, 2 receptions, 100 yards, longest of 79. Corey Davis, 2 receptions, 38 yards. Garrett Wilson, 3 receptions, 27 yards. CJ Uzama, 2 receptions, 12. Michael Carter, 2 receptions, 12. Jeff Smith and Elijah Moore both had a reception for 11 yards each. Tyler Conklin had a target, and then Braxton Berrios had a reception for a loss of 1 yard. So you're saying, secondary was hurt, but everyone under there except for Breece Hall was under 40 yards. Yes, but it was the fact that the secondary was hurt that we tried to emphasize, all right, we need to back up this area of the field a lot more, leading to the poor tackling on run defensive plays, honestly. Fumbles, Skylar Thompson lost a fumble, covered by Quinnen Williams, which set up the Michael Carter touchdown. That was pretty much it was a Breece Hall touchdown that pretty much sealed the deal for the Dolphins to come back. Things went sideways even worse after that, after Dolphins went out 4th and 1. Leading tackler for the Dolphins, Brandon Jones, 9 total tackles, 5 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 QB hit. Landon Roberts, 7 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Christian Wilkins, 6 total, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection. And then Kader Kohu had a tackle for a loss. Jerome Baker had a sack, tackle for a loss, pass deflection, QB hit. Zach Sealer had a QB hit. And I think that's it for the Miami Dolphins in terms of key stats. CJ Mosley was the Jets' leading tackler, 10 total, 7 solo. Quan Alexander, 10 total, 6 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Jordan Whitehead, 7 total, 6 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Sauce Gardner had a pass deflection and a QB hit. Michael Carter, the second, had a 2 pass deflections. Quinn Williams had half a sack and 2 QB hits. Carl Larson had 1 sack. This number's outrageous. 7 QB hits for Carl Lawson. John Franklin Myers had half a sack and a pass deflection, 5 QB hits. That is absurd. And Bryce Huff had an 8 QB hit. Sauce Gardner had an interception return for 3 yards. Kick returns, Braxton Berrios had a big return on the safety punt, which was 42 total yards. He has a total of 61 on 2 punt returns. Kick returns, I mean. Ty Johnson had 1 return for 6 punt returns. Tyreek Hill had a loss of 2 yards on a punt return. Jason Sanders, fortunate day kicking. He missed a field goal that could have put the Dolphins ahead and maybe could have changed the entire trajectory of the game. But yeah, Jason Sanders went 1 for 2 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points. Greg Zuerlein went 1 for 1 on field goals, 5 for 5 on extra points. Thomas Morstead, 3 punts, 131 yards. 1 of them were in the 20. Brandon Mann had 4 total punts, 185 yards. 2 were in the 20. Longest was 51. That's pretty much it for all the numbers. I know it was a lot, kind of stopped in between to speak about some things, but yeah, some of these things that Dolphins couldn't capitalize in order to get a key victory. Couldn't protect Teddy. First drive, he's out. I know that is a very unfortunate circumstance. You know, you're not expecting your player to go down off of a fluky hit, but it happened. So couldn't do much there. Was successful in running over 100 yards, which I really wanted to see, especially against this Jets defense that has been struggling. So you expect that to happen with the running game. So I'm glad the Dolphins eclipsed 100 yards, and on top of that, Raheem Mostert individually eclipsed 100 yards. Let's go to the next thing defensively. They did get pressure on Zach Wilson. They had 2 sacks and a total of 3 QB hits. So overall, not the most pressure, but there was pressure there. And, limit their rushing game. Not so much, 135 yards for the Jets rushing. And then their backs in total had, Carter had, 112 receiving. And doing the math on the fly here, pretty much over 250 yards almost in total between the two, rushing and receiving for Breece Hall and Michael Carter. So overall, not the best defensive game from the Dolphins by a long shot. And then when you factor in the fact that this is probably one of the tougher stretches of the season, I know you look over the Jets a lot of the time as a Dolphins fan, but they definitely handed it to the Dolphins this week. So it is what it is. Dolphins are now 3-2, and currently sitting third in the AFC East. Went from first to third, and quite the swing. The Jets are above us in terms of placing just because they beat us. Buffalo had a easy win against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 38-3. They covered the spread by a mile. New England slaughtered the Detroit Lions 29-0. That's your update for this Dolphins game, and on top of that, just the AFC East and standings and whatnot. Dolphins need to regroup very, very hardly and just figure out what's going on. I feel like defense is an issue with the secondary right now with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones out. And then offensively, yes, I get it. Unfortunately, Teddy Bridgewater went down. You didn't have Tua. You knew that going into the game. Teddy goes out on the first drive. So I feel like preparation needs to be a little better. They were able to regroup and, put themselves in a position to, get back in the game and possibly take the lead. And unfortunate things happen with the missed Jason Sanders field goal. And just things you don't want to see in general in a football game. I wish the Dolphins would have been able to, hopefully made that field goal or pull within and made a difference in this game. But it is what it is. And with that being said, I'm just going to close off the video because I don't got really much else to say. I just hope for down the line, good health to our players. And second of all, just more certainty in this team. This team has a bunch of potential, and they just need to capitalize on it more. Realistically, if this is the Dolphins in a year that they're playoff hopefuls, not looking like it through these last 2 games. I got it. Unfortunate things with the quarterbacks going down, but you need to rise above that and pull things along and put yourself in position to win. And I think they did. They just couldn't get to that last step of, pulling ahead, holding the lead, stuff like that. So, yeah, pretty much my piece on it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.